People are wondering, what are the restrictions for those of us who are living in a condominium during COVID-19? What options do you have if you wish to buy a condo or rent your own place during quarantine? Before we move on, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can see and hear about our upcoming video. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, exposure to other residents, visitors, and staff can pose an additional risk. While careful health measures can be followed, contact with other people is unavoidable, particularly in communal areas and shared amenities. Developers and property managers launched several internal responses with the purpose of protecting their tenants' health and safety from the virus and other health hazards. Today, we will discuss the differences and guidelines for movement within and among areas in enhanced community quarantine, modified enhanced community quarantine, and general community quarantine. First, what is enhanced community quarantine? For high-risk individuals, enhanced community quarantine, or ECQ, is used. The most stringent form of quarantine is an ECQ. Except for necessary workers and medical frontline personnel, everyone is required to remain at home. It is not permitted to use public transit. Large groups are not permitted. So how about MECQ, or the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine? An MECQ is one level below an ECQ. Except for critical workers, medical frontline workers, and those working in exempted offices and enterprises, most individuals are requested to stay at home, but public transportation is permitted. Up to 5 persons can congregate in a large group. Essential industries are permitted to operate at full capacity, while others are limited to 50% capacity. And lastly, in general community quarantine, or GCQ. The majority of people are permitted to leave their houses in order to work. Persons under the age of 21, those over the age of 60, and those at high risk of getting the severe form of COVID-19 must stay at home. With rigorous social separation, public transportation is permitted. The number of persons that can attend a gathering is restricted to 10. As you can see, the percentage of people that are allowed to move in during quarantine is quite high. ECQ has a 28% pass rate, MECQ and GCQ have an 83% pass rate, and curfew hours are 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. In ECQ, only 5% of condominium units were allowed to be viewed, but 67% were allowed in both MECQ and GCQ. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is the same curfew. According to our data, the permissible visiting rate during quarantine is 6% in MECQ, 67% in GCQ, and sadly not allowed in ECQ. But not the least, in terms of amenities access, ECQ allows for 23%, MECQ allows for 39%, and GCQ allows for 83%. This information is based on the property's preventive measures policy with occupied and leased units during quarantine. To summarize, most Filipinos have spent most of their time inside their homes since the Philippines was placed under community lockdowns almost a year ago. While the government has relaxed quarantine requirements and COVID-19 vaccines have become accessible in the country, taking the most stringent precautions at home, particularly inside condominiums, should remain a top priority as the globe works to eradicate the pandemic. We hope you learned something from our quick video. Always be cautious and stay at home. See you in our next video, and don't forget to click the notification bell.